we're all going to get opportunities in our journeys.
Yes.
Okay. To either take that opportunity or identify it as, well, that's a great opportunity, but that's not the opportunity for me. The only way that you can be solid in your decision making
Mm-hmm.
with anything in life, but specific to this, is knowing your why, knowing your guiding light, knowing your vision. We talk about our vision in our businesses and our team meetings all the time because it helps get that directional, beacon
Yep.
of being able to make a 60-second decision. Once the information presents itself, I'm going to make a quick decision here. I'm not going to, go back and forth on this. So you are very tight on your why, what you're doing, why you're building it, what you want, when you want it, how you want it.
Yep.
At some point, you realize the numbers you're hitting aren't measuring the life you're living. Welcome to Quit the Quota. I'm Darryl and Miedico.
And I am Marya Ryan. This is the podcast for professionals, especially sales professionals, who've done what they were supposed to do and still found themselves questioning whether that version of success really fits.
Each episode features honest conversations with people who stepped outside the traditional mold, along with reflections from our own years in the corporate world.
Quit the Quota isn't about quitting ambition. It's about defining success on your terms. Hi, Darryl.
Marya, what's going on today? How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm doing really good. Sun is shining. Weather's finally gotten better. My sister's in town. So we're hanging out and doing some fun things. Going to go see my daughter at college. Going to live our best college life tomorrow.
I love it. I love it. I told Nicole, I said, do as little work as possible.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
While she's with you. I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
I don't know either. It's okay. We can suggest, but whether it'll go or not is a whole other thing. Yeah, so super excited for visiting. So,
and you guys,
yeah,
you guys are going to a lacrosse game too, right?
Yes, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow night, UMD lacrosse game. Which night games are always so fun, because but it starts with daylight. By the time it's done, the big lights are on, and they play in the big football stadium too. Certain schools they don't do that. They have they play lacrosse in a lacrosse stadium or maybe a smaller one, but this one's played right in the big one, so it's a lot of fun.
Cool.
Very cool. Super cool. Yeah. So I'm excited. What about you?
We are right in the middle of baseball season. It's crazy right now. So tons of going on there. We had a scrimmage yesterday. So good news is it was a scrimmage. Good news is that we have a lot of time to fix the things that we need to fix.
Good news is
a lot of mental mistakes. We actually didn't have a lot of physical mistakes. Tons of mental mistakes. So
interesting.
the mental aspect of the game, of youth sports, right?
Yeah.
High school sports absolutely relates to the mental aspect of the game of business, right?
I was gonna say, it's like we know a little bit about this.
Yeah. So today will be a very fun practice. Because I've got some things that I'm going to want to
run or hard or both.
Well, it'll be fun for me. I don't know about the rest of them.
I love it. Yeah. You're gonna bring some mindset to them?
Always do.
That's
always
awesome.
do. I wish I had coaches that did that more when I was an athlete and playing sports. And we talked about the mental aspect of the game and rah and all that, but true going deep like we do, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen for the youth at all, let alone where it really should, in sports and so every week I try to give the student athletes something, right?
That's awesome.
So I usually build it into what I call mindset Mondays for them. So
I love that.
I incorporate that into the practice plan that day, or I incorporate that. We have an app that we communicate through. Awesome. I'll send out a mass message that just says, "Hey, here's something to think about." And the way I look at it is, a lot of it's really deep stuff. I try to keep it surface level for, a 14, 15-year-old to a 19-year-old, right? You can't, only have a couple hours a day with them, and that's only a little bit. So I try to keep it very surface level, surface layer. But
Mm-hmm.
generally speaking, my thought around it is I hope this gets to everyone. But if I get to just one person, if this message gets to one person, then mission accomplished.
It's such a sensitive group, and the way of the world and the phones and the apps and the this and the that. And I feel like they're getting a little lost in the sauce, getting a little lost with all that. And so I love that you're starting to bring that into the mix with them. Super, super cool. So
Coaches love it too. My assistant coaches and
yeah.
my,
Yeah, it's good for all of us.
they're just like, I love when you post it because it gets me
Yeah.
thinking. I'm like, great, awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love that. Think more. People don't think more.
Yes. So we've got a phenomenal show today, a very exciting topic.
We do.
I'm super excited to jump into it with you today.
Yep. Let's do it.
So you had, I think, quite a acknowledgement, I would say, right?
Mhm.
A really a tap on the back, right? For your personal growth
Mhm.
over the last few months, coming up probably on a year now of doing this, right? So, do you want to talk through that a little bit and we'll jump right in?
Yeah. It's very interesting because I had a moment. Well, let me back up. So, yeah, so I had an opportunity. I was invited to apply to work with someone that I wildly admire. And this just happened in the last 4 weeks, I guess. 3 weeks now. And it was really interesting because I was like, "Wow, that would be amazing." And it was like you said, it was a tap on the back. It was a pat on the back. It was a confirmation of sorts to me to be like, "Well, if this person thinks that I'm could work in their organization, maybe I should consider it." And I did. I started to consider it. And which sounds funny, maybe to some, because you're like, well, wait a second, you're doing this podcast and we're building out this whole thing. And, but there's a totally huge valid reason why I did it and why it's great to talk about and why I felt it, because it has to do with my belief system. It has to do with my programming, and it has to do with what if I went to do something that would, what I would call play small, right? So I felt, okay, this is awesome. This is great. I'm validated. This person is having phenomenal success. I'd be part of that. But once again, Marya is playing for someone else's team. That sounds funny, but you know what I mean, right? I'm going to be under the umbrella of this particular person's organization. I'm going to now be supporting someone else's dream. And I was really considering it. And partly because there's already such validity to this particular company and program and all of that. So there's already some traction, right? And also, once I really started to peel back the layers, I fall into the trap of supporting someone else and not myself. Was starting to all of a sudden recognize just a little bit like, wait a second, hold on. You guys are doing the podcast. You guys are going to build out something else potentially. We hadn't quite formed it as well as we just have been doing, more so, right? We're really starting to have the all rockets going, right? We're going to be like going to the moon here ourselves. And it was so interesting to me because I mentioned it to you, but before I mentioned it to you, we had a conversation about, well, what does this entail exactly? So much of it was in alignment until we hit the part of there's going to be a quota, basically. So, and then all of a sudden I was
Wild.
like, yeah, I'm like, wait a second, what's the name of our podcast again? And why would I do this again? What's happening? Like, I literally had that moment of, I was sitting with a couple friends and we were having a great business discussion. And she said to me, she even said it. And I probably was the loudest person in the restaurant as I was laughing with like, almost like oh my gosh, why would I even consider this?
Yeah.
Why? Right?
So why do you think you did consider it?
I think I considered it because for so long, I have depended on somebody else in a variety of ways, whether it was personal, whether it was in with raising kids, whether it was paying bills, whether it was work, taught to work for someone else, taught to support. That's what you do. And I think there was a part of me that was like, well, he's already established. So again, I'll just go and help support that. I didn't have enough confidence or belief in myself that I could go and be the next big bad whatever it's gonna be.
I wouldn't say you didn't have the confidence. No, no, no. I would pull that back just a little bit because ultimately, obviously, the whole conversation is today. It's around that you didn't take it,
I
right?
didn't no,
But
no, no. Yeah, it's
so
great. It's great.
so it's not a confidence thing. I think you said something earlier on that
Mhm.
I think we should jump into a little bit,
Yeah, yeah, let's do it.
and this will help others. Is it comes back to your belief system, to your programming,
Yeah,
right?
oh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and your growth in the last, few months specifically
Yes,
has been identified by this person whom you deeply admire, right?
yes,
And the business they've built that you admire.
yes,
I have certainly seen the growth. Others have seen the growth, right?
yes.
So it's not a confidence thing. I think, in fact, I know prior to the last few months, right? I would say rewind 24 months ago, you would
Mhm.
have jumped all over this potential
Oh, yeah,
opportunity.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Potential opportunity, right?
Yes, potential.
Right
Exactly.
now, for where you are in your journey, I believe it was your first test.
It was definitely a test, and it was definitely a what do you want? And I had a lot of friction. And when we talked last week, on our last podcast, we talked about having that feeling of being tested versus being is this a sign? And I had a ton of friction. And I wasn't sure if it's because at the moment, I was like, is this because I'm being tested to see like, can you actually do it yourself? Or you're feeling the friction because you want to do it. And then that would mean X, Y, and Z would start to happen. Right. So then there's a whole bunch of cards that fall in whatever decision you make. So I I experienced exactly what we discussed. I experienced fear because all of a sudden it was like, well, if I don't do this, am I missing an opportunity? Pardon me. I also felt like, but if I do this, I'm missing an opportunity, right? So it was just a very interesting place to be. And it wasn't till the moment of you have a quota, basically a minimum or something, right? Which in reality makes sense to the position and to what it would be. And when you're building out a company, you do have some sort of, depending on what you're doing, you structure.
Mhm.
So it wasn't bad. It just was like, wait a second, this isn't actually what I want. This is not what I want. And then yeah,
Right there.
yeah, yep,
Right there. So forget about the quota, right?
yep.
I have a quota.
Well, it's true.
I
That's
I
true.
did I
True.
I have given myself my quota though.
Right.
That's the key to
You've
this whole
defined it.
thing.
Yeah, you've defined it.
You've defined your
Yep.
goals and your
Yes.
quota.
Yep.
Quitting the quota isn't, as you say in our intro, which I love, it's not quitting ambition. Your
No.
ambition has not changed.
Mm-mm.
Quitting the quota is, driving and building for somebody else's benefit.
Right.
That's
And
the whole
that's what I
thing.
would have been doing. That's what I would
100%.
have been doing. And
100%.
so, and then I had to have sit there and go, but what does Maria actually want? Go back to look through your list of things, go back to your goal. And what I want didn't align. That's the ultimate thing. So I had to realize, and then I told you about it. And, but what it did, and I am so grateful for it. I am so grateful for the pat on the back. I'm so grateful for the invitation because what it did is it came back. I came back with a fire to create and to build and to take something to the level, which is what I want. I have a vision. We talked about it. I have this vision of Darryl wearing this phenomenal, like purple blazer, velour, or velvet or whatever. We're coming on stage and I'm in a purple dress because our colors are purple and gold for those that maybe don't know. And we're just having a huge, awesome event because this is part of what we're going to be incorporating into our mentorship. And there's glitter and it's gold. Like I just have this vision. I'm
Mhm.
like, that's what I want.
Yep.
So let's go freaking build it.
And we're going to. And you came back after getting that offer within 48 hours, probably closer to 24. You were like, we have to talk.
Yep.
And you were
Yep.
just throwing at me
Yep.
idea like we
Yep.
got to do this and we got to do that.
I do that.
And,
Yep.
then you were like, when you said to me, what's your timing? And you're like, Darryl, I don't like your timing on that. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Like,
I wish
holy.
it was recorded because Darryl was like, well, I'll do this, I'll do that. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not happening. Sorry. I'm either going to do it or you're going to come along. Which is it?
The fire and passion that
Yeah.
drove, because
Yeah.
it for me, watching you from, this, I equate like, I'm in this situation, I'm watching a basketball game. You had this person who gave you an offer. You have you on there's the two teams, right? And I'm
Yeah.
watching this whole thing, and I'm just like, whoa, this is a good game.
Whoa.
This is a really exciting game right now.
Yep.
And you came back with that fire, and we've got some great things we've written down, some great next steps out of that.
Yeah.
And it was like, you're gonna look back on this. This is that moment for you, right? This is
It's
that moment for
100%.
you.
Yeah. It's
You
100% that moment.
yeah.
It was a switch and we already were working. So it's not like it's interesting. This is why I think it's so important for even if you've left and you're creating something and you're starting to feel that did I do the right thing?
Mhm.
Or you have, like you said, the test, an opportunity that will give you what you, again, I'm putting this in air quotes, what's safe, right?
Yep.
And this wasn't a safe opportunity. It was a big opportunity that would still require me to build a little bit of a something of my own within under an umbrella, right? So
Mhm.
it's in no means was it safe, but it still had those elements of safety because a framework was already there.
Mhm.
So it makes you stop and think, well, maybe that's what I should be doing. And like you said, it was a test. I mentioned the word confidence because it, in my paradigm, I have something that I've been working on a long time in my life, and very much in particular, probably the last couple of years, is I can only be successful if I rely on someone else.
Yeah.
I have to have a partner next to me. I mean, we're partners, but there's a lot that I do by myself and there's going to be a lot that you do by yourself. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying, guys, because partnerships are amazing. But I meant in my personal life that I can't be successful unless I have a spouse or a this or that, fill in the blank. And so when I said the confidence, that's the only part that I'm like, no, 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 get
I
off my shoulders.
I think, to help you out with the thought process, if I may, if I'm wrong, you just tell me, Darryl,
No,
you're wrong, and that's okay.
no, go right ahead.
Um, I believe the difference, it's not a partner, it's a provider. I think
That's
for
the word.
I
That's
think
the word.
I think for you, and
Yeah.
I think we should jump into this a little bit if you're comfortable. I
Yeah.
think for you is when we talk about belief system and
Hmm.
programming,
Hmm.
that a portion of this comes back to the because we all need partners, right?
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I've got, 14 partners in our immediate circle
Yes.
within stay space. Like,
Right.
yeah, okay. Am I founder, right? Am
Yeah.
I the
Yeah.
head of the ship? Yeah, sure. But I can't do anything without my partners in this business.
Right.
So we all need partners. That's not it. What we don't need, and this is, I think, a big one.
Hmm.
It's a reoccurring theme for our show. It's something that you're currently working through and you're succeeding. Is,
Yes.
do we need a provider?
Yeah, that's the word. You're absolutely right. It is provider, not partner.
Yeah.
It's a provider, right? So if you think about it, right, we were provided for by our parents when we were kids. And then depending on how your phases of life go next, right? When you talk about it on a personal level, right, you have you could be have a spouse or someone that you live with or whatever that is providing another part of an income that helps you have the life that you want. But what about from a professional perspective? Right? So my jobs that I've had, I've worked for them, but they've provided to me the framework, the product, the lessons, the content, the benefits, the salary,
But they provided everything. So
everything.
I had a situation this morning where we have a property. We have a guest that's unhappy at one of the properties with
Mhm,
level of cleanliness and some of the more detailed items. Overall, the property's in great shape. We're sending the cleaner back to
mhm.
take care of those particular concerns. And the cleaner asked me this particular question. They said, "Well, what do I do if the guest is unhappy and becomes argumentative and then they're irate?" That particular cleaner, even though they have their own business, is looking for me to provide the information on how to deal with that. So
Right,
so
right.
it's a universal thing for a lot of people. And
100%.
for me, all I said was, look, just kill them with kindness. You can
Yep,
even say, I don't know if this particular cleaner was the one that cleaned the property or not. We have a few different cleaners that we have at this particular one, but you can even say that
yep,
you didn't particularly clean this,
mhm,
and I'm here to help you. I'm here to take care of it. And
yep,
this cleaner goes, "Wow, that's great. That's really good, insightful information. Thank you."
right.
I, it was to
Yeah,
me in that moment. It's like this. Now we're talking not in the moment, but it's like to me, it was just solve the problem. Solve the
solve the
problem.
problem. Yeah,
That that's a. I understand what you're saying, but here's how you
yeah,
solve it. If I had to solve it, if I was there, here's how I would solve it.
right.
Right. But in that situation,
Mhm.
that particular person needed a provider to show
Yes,
them the framework, to give them the information.
right. And the support which comes through being a provider, right? You
Yep.
feel supported in whatever that is that's being provided to you. And so I'm glad that you transition the phrase from partner to provider because that is actually what it is.
Mhm.
And what it did is it made me stop and question myself to go, why can't you be your provider? Why can't you do it? What are you why would you even consider this? Now granted, I'm like I said, I'm super grateful that it happened.
Yeah,
I really am because it was a validating moment for me
absolutely.
to give me that, you know.
Absolutely. So let's jump into that a little bit. Why can't you? Or what was like walk through that because I mean millions of
Yeah.
people go through this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what was going through your mind because you considered it. You did
I did.
consider it.
Of
So
course.
what
Yeah.
was going through your mind advocating for taking the opportunity, right? What was it that you were concerned about that you potentially were coming back to of like
Yeah.
I may need this provider. What were you coming back to in that?
It was more along the lines of because I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. Can I be successful in building out something that is going to be to help me get to the big goals that I have in my life? Some of them are financial.
Mhm.
Some of them are financial because they're tied to being able to provide experiences for my family, and I don't wanna have to pause and think about it. They're also tied to some really dear causes that I want to serve and to give. So, in order to get to those levels, I can help and serve now, don't misunderstand, but I want it to be, like, up here.
Yes.
And so, there was a part of me that was doubting my own ability to build something that build it and they will come. I was like, "But what if they don't come? This guy's already built something and they are coming."
Can
That's the
you
truth.
explore that a little bit deeper,
Yeah.
right? And
So
I'm happy to we can play a pitch and catch
yeah,
on
yeah,
this,
yeah,
right?
pitch
But
and catch, absolutely.
but what if they don't come?
Yeah. That was a real feeling. I had a real moment in myself that I was like, "I'm gonna build something and no one's gonna show up. No one's gonna
Why
wanna listen to me."
why do you think that you feel that way? Or did? Maybe you still don't.
I
Maybe
feel
you still do.
differently.
Maybe you still
I
do feel that way a little
feel
bit.
differently. I do feel differently, but I do have moments of like, I want to build something that's we want to build something. I know it's a we thing, but I know myself, my portion of it. I want to build something that is so that I'm so proud of that I know what other people feel for this other organization. And
Mhm.
I want that for myself. And there's a part of me that was just like It's all it is the fear of criticism. That's really what it boils down to. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not anything that you've been told in your life. And some of them are stronger based on certain experiences. But that is really the bottom line. It was the fear of criticism, what people are going to say, how they're going to feel, which really ultimately, who cares? Because I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Someone's going to be like, I don't like how you talk. You hold your hand too funny, or I don't care, whatever. Right. But that's really what it was. That's what it is. And it comes up, it rears its ugly head because your paradigm, that hidden belief system, that's all that is, guys. You hear us say this fancy word. It's your hidden belief system that wants you to stay where you've been because it's comfortable. Darryl mentioned comfort a lot in one of our prior episodes. You're comfortable. It feels good there. So you know how to rely on somebody else. You know how to trust a provider.
Yeah. Trust a provider. I just put a LinkedIn post yesterday. A large global company just laid off, I think the numbers are around 30,000 employees.
That's outrageous. It's a town.
But 30,000 employees. Some of them I saw posts, been there for decades, decades of successful employment, of getting their job done and doing and building wealth for somebody
Yes.
else.
Yes.
Right. And at the
having
end,
benefits, having a 401k, having fill in the blank, whatever that might be.
Whatever it was, doing that for
wild.
all those years, and then potentially selling out, their dreams or
Yes.
their ambitions or their goals because
Yeah. Of someone
of
else.
the safety of a provider. And I say safety of a provider in quotes.
Yes, it's not safe. And it's just so interesting to me that I was thinking about it because number one, it was a validating moment. So it was like, well, if he feels that I could do this, well, then I must be able to do this. And then all of a sudden, if we could have compressed my thought process, it would be a phenomenal little reel because you could see me talking to myself and then going, well, if he believes it, well, then I should really consider it. And then it was like, but wait a second, there's a quota or a minimum or whatever. And then it was like, but he's determining that. And then it was like, literally, you could see me unpacking it and then going, you're just afraid that you're afraid that someone is going to think you're, the whole fear of criticism. Really, that was the number one thing that comes out of it.
That's it. It's fear of criticism. That's 100% all it was, because the criticism that you fear is, well, what if this fails? I had this opportunity. I could have gone and done this.
Right. I missed it.
But you didn't, but you were tight with your why.
Yes.
Okay. And that's the key to this, because we're all going to get opportunities in our journeys, whatever our journeys may be. We're all going to get opportunities in our journeys.
Yes.
Okay. To either take that opportunity or identify it as, well, that's a great opportunity, but that's not the opportunity for me. The only way that you can be solid in your decision making with anything in life, but specific to this, is knowing your why, knowing your guiding light, knowing your vision. We talk about our vision in our businesses and in our team meetings all the time, because it helps get that directional, beacon of being able to make a 60-second decision. Once the information presents itself, I'm going to make a quick decision here. I'm not going to go back and forth on this. So you are very tight on your why, what you're doing, why you're building it, what you want, when you want it, how you want it.
I even went back to read my goal, and it had nothing to do with what the opportunity was at all. And I was, it's humorous now because I am doing the work, and we talk about this all the time, and Darryl and I work on stuff together and all these things. And then walking through it with him, it's like, it's actually, I'm so glad I went through it because I can share it. And we share the real stuff, guys. Like, we are about reality. There are moments that are going to come to even us. We do not have some magic wand that nothing will touch us ever again. It totally will. It'll just be done in a way that's maybe a little different than where you're at. But I had this, it's just, I'm actually, I said, thank you. I literally said thank you to the opportunity.
Hmm.
And then I said no thank you.
Well, the offer. I'm not going to call it the opportunity anymore. It's not your opportunity. It's someone else's. The
Someone else.
offer, the offer of it, absolutely. I think from watching you has given you a boost of confidence because you're just like, well, like you just said a little bit earlier. Well, he sees it in me, and
Right.
I'll give you a little secret here. This is probably the pro tip right here. Okay, for anyone that's listening to this that has a calling to do something big and different. Okay.
Yep.
Here's the pro tip. Great leaders look for the up and comers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ooh, I love that. Totally
Great,
true.
great leaders look for the person who is the up and comer.
So
Okay.
I was an
Because,
up and comer, baby.
because you can acquire the up and
Hmm.
comer onto your team
Sure.
for a discounted rate
Yeah.
because that person does not know their value yet. They do not know their worth. But you, as a seasoned leader
Yep.
who knows what that looks like,
Mm-hmm.
says, okay, the
Yeah.
seed is there, right?
Yep.
I just need to be able to cultivate this person a little bit, and they're gonna produce, they're gonna perform for me, right? So
Absolutely.
if that's your why, if that's what you want to be a part of, then
Then do
phenomenal.
it.
You've made yourself more valuable,
Yeah.
and you will get an opportunity to do that. But I promise you that the opportunity to do that, that person who's giving you that opportunity realizes a significant amount of more value
Yep.
if you were to apply yourself to your own gig. There
And they
is
don't want to
no
let
doubt
that
in my
go.
mind about that.
Yeah. And they don't want to let it go.
No.
And
Every
and and since this piece of me feeling that and seeing that, I'm so glad you shared that pro tip because I was viewed as an up and comer then, right?
100%. Well, this particular person sees the work that you're doing, sees the growth that you're having. Okay.
Yep.
I'm sure you've been sharing what we're
Yep.
building over here
Yep.
and says, whoa, this person is
I
putting
hope that.
action.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. They're putting action in place. They're building this. They're doing this. They're getting into the material. Just they're doing all the things
Mhm.
that I have seen lead to success.
Yes.
So it is a huge, it should be for you, and I know it is, a huge amount
Yeah.
of confidence that you know what you're doing, that offer isn't gonna be given to just anyone,
No,
right? You
not at
know, that
all.
he
That
this
per he's very discerning and has just like we would be. We're
he
very specific.
he's got a very successful brand, a very particular brand. You're not gonna be brought in if you weren't gonna, fit into that branding, okay?
Right. 100%.
So the only X factor here,
Yep.
okay, and you've gotten very clear on it, but
Yep.
this is where people will struggle.
Yeah.
Am I willing to bet on myself?
Exactly. You got to ask yourself that question. You got to get crystal clear on that. And it is not easy and it can be very scary. And it can also all of a sudden create these moments of fear and doubt and question. But if, like you said, if we're super, super tied to our goals and our whys, and goals, whys kind of, go hand in hand. But if we're super tight on that, pressure tested against it, and look at the opportunity that may be sitting in front of you and then push it against your why and your goal and be like, wait a second, is it in alignment with this? And I'm laughing because I read mine. I was like, this is not even what it's not even on the goal. Like it's not even part of it. It's not even the word's not even in there. So, and then it made me think, well, is it the right goal? And then you just have a moment of reflection. You're allowed to think. You should think, and then give yourself permission to then, like you said, I'm going to go build it for myself. If someone, especially in my scenario where I was given the confidence, the accolade of it felt like it, right? Like the pat on the back,
Mhm.
the I see something in you. Well then, Marya, you know you even way better than this other person does. So what do you see in yourself?
Ooh.
Yeah.
What do you see in yourself? That's a whole nother episode in itself right there.
Yep. I think we're going to talk about that next week. I'm writing it down.
It'll be on a future episode. Then we have an interview next week, I think, don't we? So
Yeah. We've got lots of awesome stuff coming, guys. Let me tell you, like Darryl's not lying. I came back and we have so many amazing, cool stuff. And it is because I had an opportunity to sit there and go, wait. And guess what? I'm pressure testing Darryl because of it. So it all works out.
mm-hmm.
Right? Because I'm asking him, what do you want? I even asked him those exact words. What do you want? And he was like, it's a great question. Let's talk through it. Let's unpack it. So anyways, awesome. Fantastic. I'm excited for our future. I'm excited for, I'm grateful, have gratitude for the things that come along. Spin that around instead of going, oh my gosh, because it's just going to cause you to be fearful. Yeah. Get super tight on what you actually want. And then when the opportunities present themselves, then you can have something to look at and say, wait a second, is this in alignment? Is this what I really want? No, it's not. No, it's really not. Get that fire in your belly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the big thing too, when you make the decision, close the book on what you chose against, or what you did not choose, rather. Yes. Right.
Oh, that's
close
great
the book
advice.
on it.
Close the book on it. That's right. Say thanks and and see ya. Move it over. You're done. Yep. I love that. 100%. Yep. And get busy. Get busy on what you want. Get busy and do it. So I love it. Closing the book. I already closed it.
Yeah, I know you have.
It's gone. I returned the book to the library. So yeah. Do people do that anymore? I don't even know. Thank you so much.
I haven't been in a library
forever.
They don't even call the library anymore at the high school in my town. They call it the media center. I mean, I get it. We have computers and
I guess
there's laptop, and then there's projectors.
That's really funny.
But there's literally like 3 rows of books and the books are like, shoulder, the shelf's like, shoulder high on me.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's not much going on in here for books.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I'm returning to the media center then, guys.
Yeah.
This was awesome.
Yes, Marya, thank you for sharing on this.
Yes, absolutely. Excited to
another honest conversation, which
about.
so many people feel exactly, or have to have these types of questions that present themselves.
Yes.
I promise you right now, there's someone in America right this second, salesperson, a coder, a marketing professional, someone in a finance office that is considering taking a leap and doing their own thing.
Yes.
But they have an opportunity in front of them for a little bit more salary, a little bit more security, a little bit more, right? And it's like, oh, but this is a really great opportunity. And this was just a phenomenal story, because these situations will never go away, right? Like, the opportunities, the fears, the challenges, the tests, right? All of it, everything we discuss, it never goes away. What changes is how you deal with it. And you just did a phenomenal job. And I think it was a great story. So kudos to you.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for allowing me to share it. And that's what we're going to keep doing, guys, because it's no fluff here. No fluff. Reality. Never. All right, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of the day, and we will see you on the next show. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Bye-bye.